The 2027-28 season was fast approaching, and with the late conclusion of the OFC Champions League, preseason preparations were brief. Despite the short window, new players arrived, and some familiar faces departed. A few younger players would only join once they turned 18 in compliance with transfer regulations. Among the new arrivals were promising talents like Oscar Delgadillo from Bolivia, Mohamed Obeidi from Libya, Valdemar Harrison and David Eriksson from Iceland, and Miguel Cagua from Ecuador, all eager for fresh adventures. However, departures also occurred. Flavio Neff made his move to AS Lossie in New Caledonia, while Sekon Feaga left for rivals Royal Puma. With these changes, Mark felt the winds of transformation sweeping through Lionheart, both in the squad and in himself. Barely a month after their OFC triumph, Lionheart was back on the pitch for the new season. Their first match saw them dominate Taputumu Youth with a resounding 6-1 victory. Kuzminik, Akwasi Weda, and Tacit and Kumsazal found the back of the net, while Calvin Seong secured a brace. The next 4 games were just as successful. They secured a 2-0 win over Vealatongan, a 2-1 victory against Pago Youth, triumphed 3-2 over Black Roses, and capped it with a 2-0 victory against Dilla and Taumata. Lionheart was on top of the league, and everything seemed to be falling into place. Despite the success, Mark couldn't shake the feeling that his time with Lionheart was nearing its natural end. He had accomplished everything he set out to do in American Samoa, winning the league, the local cup, and perhaps most impressively, the OFC Champions League. Appointed as manager in December 2023, he had built something special. But now he saw a new challenge. Mark began searching for a new chapter in Oceania. He wanted to manage a team that could compete for the highest honors in its domestic league. He wasn't interested in a project that involved a promotion battle. He needed a club with immediate potential. But despite his efforts, nothing caught his eye for some time. As Lionheart continued their undefeated run, securing wins against Tafuna Jets 2-0, Uchile 4-3, and Green Bay 3-0, along with a 3-3 draw against Pansa, Mark felt a growing sense of satisfaction. The team was playing the kind of football he had envisioned, and their dominance in the league was undeniable. But after the last game, Mark went home and checked his emails. There it was, the response he had been waiting for. The club he had applied to was impressed by his journey with Lionheart and wanted to set up a meeting the next morning. The email outlined several key points, and Mark knew he had to be prepared. He replied immediately, agreeing to the meeting at 9 a.m. He then sent a quick message to his staff, instructing them to gather the players for training at 11 a.m., where he would have something important to announce. The next morning, Mark sat in front of his computer, ready for the call. The representatives from the new club introduced themselves and spent the next hour discussing how they saw him fitting into their future. They admired his achievements with Lionheart and believed he could bring the same success to their club. As the call wrapped up, Mark had made his decision. He was ready to take on this new challenge, even though it meant saying goodbye to Lionheart. Due to league regulations, the club couldn't pay Lionheart a transfer fee, so Mark would need to resign before finalizing the contract. Mark arrived at training as usual, but this time felt different. He called the players and staff together on the pitch, knowing that none of them were ready for what he was about to say.
This is a difficult day.
Mark began.
But first, I want to congratulate you all on what we've achieved together. Winning the league, the domestic cup, and of course the OFC Champions League. It's been a dream come true for me to see how far this team has come. We're leading the league once again, and I couldn't be prouder. But as you may have guessed, I've spoken with the chairman and we've come to mutual agreement. I'm stepping down as manager.
The players stared in shock, the reality of his words sinking in.
Yesterday's victory was my last with you as your manager, but I have no doubt you'll continue to win titles and succeed in the future. It's been a pleasure watching you grow into the incredible team you are today. And I wish you all the best.
Mark's voice cracked slightly, but he held firm. One by one, the players embraced him, their respect and admiration palpable. It was a bittersweet moment for everyone. After the emotional farewell, Mark packed up his office, taking one last look at the trophies he had won with Lionheart. He made his way to the chairman's office, where a short video was recorded to inform the fans of his decision. After a final handshake with the chairman, Mark left the building and headed home. Later that evening, he signed his new contract. Starting on September 21st, 2027, he would officially be the manager of his new club. That meant he had just 14 days to pack up his life in American Samoa and prepare for the next chapter of his journey. And so Mark found himself on the brink of yet another adventure, the future once again uncertain, but this time filled with new possibilities.